Hi, my name is Robin Wong. I'm a photographer based in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and this is the Sony RX100 Original. In this video, I'll talk about how this camera changed the landscape of compact cameras. Let's do this! This Sony RX100 Original was launched in the year 2012. At that time, the sales of compact cameras were declining dramatically year after year. That was not a surprise, it was due to the rise of smartphones. But Sony did not give up. They saw the opportunity and a place for the compact camera in the market. All they had to do is just differentiate what the compact camera can do and make sure that the image quality and the output is significantly better than any other smartphone cameras at that time. How did they accomplish this? They included a 1-inch size image sensor in their compact camera. The Sony RX100 was the first compact camera to feature the 1-inch size image sensor, and this has proven to be super successful. I found one Sony RX100 Original in the used market at a really good price in a good condition. I was curious to see what this camera can do, so I brought it out to do some street photography, and here are some photographs. There are many things that I really like about this Sony RX100 Original. After I've used it for some street shooting sessions, I can clearly see why this was such a huge hit. First of all, I treasure the compact size and lightweight of the camera. It is so easy to carry around with me. I think this is the perfect everyday carry camera. It's just the right camera for travel. I also really like the design of the camera. It is in all black, it looks minimalist, it looks really sleek. It doesn't scream attention. At the core of the camera is a 1-inch size image sensor, which is larger than any other compact cameras at that time. Pairing that with a versatile zoom lens that has 28mm to 100mm in equivalent focal length, it starts at a bright aperture f1.8 to 4.9. Pairing this combination together, you do get excellent image quality. Shooting under good light, the images that come up from this RX100, you probably can't tell them apart from, say, a DSLR quality image or a mirrorless camera image. And this is what truly made this camera such a huge success, because you do get high quality image from such a compact form factor. Well, what I just said was true if you're shooting in good light, maintaining lower ISO numbers. Being the first iteration of this Sony RX100 series cameras, this RX100 Original, there are some things that I dislike about the camera. Number one, poor handling. I find that this camera's handling is very bad. There's not enough hand gripping area for the hand to hold securely on the camera. The thumb hook is almost non-existent. The front itself is flat and slippery. As I use this camera for street shooting sessions, after just about 15 minutes or 20 minutes of constant use, I feel strains on my thumbs, my fingers, my wrist. It just feels very uncomfortable holding this camera for long duration of time. This could have been improved with a slightly different shape of the gripping area at the front and a larger thumb hook at the back. Number two, the LCD screen is not smooth. I'll expect that if we use the live view on the camera to compose our shots, especially on this RX100 original, it doesn't have a built-in electronic viewfinder. I'll expect that the LCD screen to be smooth. At least it has a 60 frames per second refresh rate. But the refresh rate on this LCD screen seems like it's about 30 frames per second or even less. In consequence, when you move the camera around as you pan, or if you're looking at moving subjects, everything looks laggy and choppy. That takes away from the shooting experience. Number 3, stuttery camera performance. As you navigate around the menu, changing the settings on the camera or previewing the screen, looking at the images that is just captured, scrutinizing the images at high magnification, moving things around the camera, it doesn't feel exactly very smooth. There are times that the camera would stutter or lag, or it takes like a second or two for the camera to respond. I wouldn't expect a compact camera to be such demanding when it comes to processing power. It just shows that either the programming wasn't optimized or the processor that is used in this camera was really underpowered. Number 4, some optical problems. The corners of the images are looking very soft at any zoom range from 28 all the way to 100 millimeters. If you look at the corners, it is not sharp, and no matter how you stop down the aperture to f5.6, f8, there's still hints of softness, and to me that's very disturbing. I also see some severe distortion. I understand that these days we rely on software correction, but the distortion is so severe that even after you've corrected the image, you still can see traces of distortion, and the images just don't look natural anymore. If we look at the paper specifications and number games alone, this RX100 is the clear winner. It was ahead of everyone else during its time. This was perhaps the best compact camera during its launch. However, this camera wasn't perfect. The RX100 does come with some flaws, and this proves that Sony has different priorities when it comes to camera making. I've always said this. Sony is not making cameras for photographers. Now hear me out. As a photographer, I appreciate some very important things about a camera. For example, handling. I want my camera to have good handling so that I can use it comfortably shooting for a long duration of time. I don't want to feel any pain or discomfort on my fingers, my wrist, my arm, my elbow, my shoulder. So handling is very important. I also prefer the camera to have smooth LCD screen, because that's part of my shooting experience. I have to look at it to compose my shots. I also like my camera to be efficient, stutter and lag free, so that if I change the settings or when I preview the images, everything is smooth and I don't have the risk of losing shots. Now, all these flaws prove that this RX100 is not really a camera designed with photographers in mind. These cameras are just there to please the general crowds with bombastic numbers, big sensor, f1.8 aperture, it can shoot raw, it can do all these things, but in actual shooting experience, the camera does fall short. I don't hate this Sony RX100. In fact, I did get some really good images coming out from it, but here's the thing. Having used it extensively, I don't love it either. Obviously, Sony has addressed some of the shortcomings that I've said earlier in the future iterations of the RX100. They have better screen, they have built-in electronic viewfinder. Of course, the autofocus performance has improved. They have improved the efficiency of the image sensor. Everything is improved. And now we have like what? Sony RX100 Mark 871 or something and counting. And it just shows that it's a popular line. I think this camera will continue to sell, and Sony will continue to make more and more RX100 series. Have you owned any of the Sony RX100 cameras yourself? Do share your thoughts and experience in the comments below. Do you agree with my findings? Do let me know. I would love to hear from you. If you've enjoyed my sharing or look at my photographs, please consider buying me a cup of coffee, or you can contribute directly to my PayPal. Links in the description below on how you can do that. Any small contribution goes a long way and will definitely help me to continue making more content. Until the next one, please go out and take more photographs. Bye-bye.